Hey, what's going on, guys? Bflattened here with a brand new video today. Today we're going to be talking about the Matting Hand, which is very similar to the Poison Hand, except it is going to be for madness specifically. But before we talk about the item, we're going to go ahead and jump into how to get this item. It is actually dropped from a NPC invasion slash summon enemy. It is pretty strong because he uses the hand against you, but you can find it at the Woodland Trail Site of Grace. And what you're going to do is you're just going to be heading straight south down this way. In between those two rocks over there, you'll probably see a lot of messages on your game too, but he will appear and walk between this little pathway down here until you engage him and eventually fight him. He will drop the hand for you, and then that's when you can go ahead and use it. Now, you're probably wondering how to get to the Abyssal Woods, because if you haven't been here, it is kind of confusing on how to get here. So here's a 2-minute tutorial on how to get to the Abyssal Woods through Dark Lake Catacombs. And this is how you reach the Dark Lake Catacombs. You're going to want to head from the Recluses River downstream Site of Grace. You can access it from Recluses River upstream Site of Grace. To get here, you'll have to go from the castle watering hole next to the ruins of Und. You can get here by heading to the Shadow Keep and traveling down a coffin to head down here. First floor Site of Grace, you want to head down the elevator to where the Fire Knight is. Take a left down a ladder. There's going to be a invisible wall. You hit that, take the coffin to Castle Watering Hole, to Recluses River upstream, to Recluses River downstream, and eventually we're going to have to hit the Dark Lake Catacombs. So let's head there now. You're going to want to head down these tombstones, being really careful as to how you proceed down these tombstones. And you're going to want to make sure that you are on the uppermost part of the the lower part of the waterfall that is over here. I almost screwed that up. And we're going to want to go to that side over there. You can actually see the next tombstones that we're going to have to hit, because we're going to have to hit another set of tombstones in order to reach the Dark Lake Catacombs. Feel free to use the horse if you want, because you can get a double jump out of it. However, I find it a little more flimsy than your character itself. But use whatever is comfortable to you. And this is the next set of tombstones here, just from that Site of Grace. And we're just going to head all the way down. Make sure to be a little careful and vigilant, because there are a lot of those militant-style enemies, the really short enemies. They have bleed, and there's about 6 or 7 of them down here. What I like to do is I just like to hit this tombstone, and then just take the cliffside corners over here. You'll have a couple of them chasing you, but it's going to be the closest way to get to the Dark Lake Catacombs. And from here, you just head down the elevator, and that's where the Site of Grace is, and the Catacombs begins. Alright, and now that we're back from the way to get the item, the Maddening Hand is dropped from a character named Matting Hand, ironically enough. And it is a fist-style weapon, which is new, or this particular version is new to Shadow of the Erdtree. This is it right here. It is scaled into Strength, Intelligence, Dexterity, and Faith, and it has a Madness buildup of 55. So just like the Poisoning Hand, like I mentioned earlier, it is a 7.5% damage boost whenever a mad effect procs either by yourself or if it hits you. So if you do something like Howl Shabiri and you proc madness on yourself, you will have the 7.5% boost. If you have the artifact Aged One's Exaltation, feel free to check out my Secret Talisman video on how to get the Aged One's Exaltation. It is a talisman that will boost your madness, your damage after madness procs even further, and it'll stack with the Matting Hand. Now, another thing just to clear up as well, if you have the Poison Hand or Matting Hand for that 7.5, if you are dual wielding or two-handing your weapon, so long as it's equipped in your offhand, even if you're two-handing a weapon, as long as it just exists there. So if I have mine two-handed as I am right now, you will still get that buff. You don't have to have it fully equipped in your hand to be able to use it. It just has to be in your offhand, and it has to just exist there. So yeah, you can two-hand a weapon, and it will still give you that buff. I think that's really about it to talk about the matting hand. I guess the other neat little thing is that poise damage or poise was increased if you two-hand a fist. So if you're using it for some reason, you get that buff, but it's probably not relevant. But I thought I would mention that anyways. The last thing to really talk about is that it has the spear hand strike, but just the mad version of it. And it is a ranged version of it. So it's essentially like you're doing the palm blast if you've seen palm blast before, but it goes out a little bit in front of you and gives you a little bit of a range option. That's poison flower, my apologies. But yeah, it comes out of like the palm of your hand and it comes out as a spear forward. So that's pretty neat if you want to use it for actual damage. But otherwise you're probably just going to use it as a damage booster for the most part. Yeah, that's about everything about the matting hand and a little bit about the poison hand as well. I will see you guys in the next video. My name is Bflattened, and I'm signing on out of here. Take care all. Laters.